Huh. Melody and Alex still aren't here. Where in Toram did they go? Don't they know it's recording time?
For the last time, Alex, I am not putting my bikini on to model it for you today. Why are you so obsessed with seeing me in that thing anyway? Did that one freediving contest we did once have something to do with this?
Melody, you're a sexy cat girl in an anime MMORPG that promotes fan service with skimpy outfits more than High School of the Dead. What did you expect? The viewers want to see you show some skin again. Think of the subscribers.
I think they'd like to see me kick your ass if you don't get off my case this second. I have plenty more power blasts where that first one came from, you.
You know what? Screw this shit. I'm going to go join the boys over at the League of Champions. They're sure to be available for a video.
Like, seriously, what the hell? Why can't Toontown Rewritten just give us some quality of life improvements on the trolley already? I still haven't started the Cellbot Task Force tasks yet because I don't want to spend half an hour on that dumb trolley just to do one step of one task. I swear I'm going to end up losing it.
Normally I'd make some kind of skill issue argument to defend Toontown, but yeah, I won't lie, I can't defend that damn trolley anymore. There's a reason Corporate Clash had a skip button on that thing. And the fact Rewritten still doesn't get the picture is just disgusting.
Hey boys, how's it going today?
Oh, what up, Chris? How are you doing?
Oh, hey, I didn't expect to see you here without that blue girl with you.
Yeah, Melody and Alex are kind of AWOL at the moment, so I figured I'd come chill out here for a bit. Were you guys just talking about something?
Huh, that's unusual. And we were just talking about Toontown, and why Rewritten still doesn't have a damn skip button on the trolley. They could at least not make that dumb trolley a pain in the ass, if they're going to force it upon us for Toon tasks. God, I'm glad Bulldozer Studios dumped that game.
At least Corporate Clash seems to be doing better. Not to mention it gave more of a center spotlight to my little bro, Snappy. Every hero needs his player too, after all.
That's valid. Anyway, I was planning to do a tier list video today. And since Alex and Melody are off doing God knows what, God knows where, for reasons I don't care about, how would you two like to fill in for them?
That's an easy one. We rank the Toontown characters under Bulldozer Studios' name.
Dude, hell to the fuck no. The only fleshed out characters from our Toontown roster are you, Snappy, and that creepy Dr. Eggman ripoff mystery. The rest of the supporting cast either isn't playable in any of the games or haven't been seen in a while. That'd make like a 6-minute video, at most.
Bro, I could talk for an hour at length about how awesome every character is if you'd let me.
No, I gotta side with the guy on this one. Toontown's been pushed to the wayside around here as of late, and I doubt anyone's going to watch that kind of tier list. I was thinking more along the line of MMORPGs.
MMOs? Didn't Bulldozerman do that already a while back?
One, that list was missing a number of noteworthy games, and two, some things have come up in the months since that video that will probably alter the final outcome of the list if it's done again.
Yeah, I don't think Wizard 101 is going to get off so easily this time, after that last update bombed, and with that whole controversy at their office and shit. I swear that game craps out steaming hot garbage more often than LJN did back in the NES days.
Ouch, I felt that burn like a blaze fireball to the face. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'm down for a tier list today. Minecraft Hardcore 2 isn't coming out anytime soon, and we got enough backlog survival videos that last until next week, so why not?
Alright then, let's get this shit started. For the record, we're only doing games that we actually know about and know enough about to form a solid opinion about them. Although we will be listing off common problems with these games that both players and critics alike have brought up against the games.
That laundry list of problems can get pretty long too, depending on what game it is you're looking at. Cough, Age of Conan, cough.
Oh god, we'll get to that fiery train wreck when we get there. Anyway, I got the tier list up, and first up on the list is Adventure Quest 3D. I gotta say, whether you're on PC or mobile, I really enjoyed this one.
The simple graphics and simple gameplay make it very approachable for newbies to the MMO genre. And it still has enough layers and content to keep the hardcore fans busy. Not to mention the abundance of tongue-in-cheek references and secrets to find.
Yeah, this game's simplicity can be a huge benefit to those who want to get their feet wet with this genre, but this game overall feels pretty mediocre compared to other MMOs on the market. A lot of the quest is just kill X amount of A, or gather X amount of B, or go from C to D for X reason. Not the most engaging quest design, to say the least.
It is a little generic in today's market, but overall, I still think it can be a fun time, especially when you have other players by your side.
The story is pretty interesting too. And I got pretty strong Wizard 101 vibes on my first playthrough, so at least it has the nostalgia value for simpler times going for it. All that said, I'll vouch for a solid A tier to start us off.
Sure, why the hell not? A tier for Adventure Quest 3D. Next on the list is AFK Journey. This one's probably the newest game on this list. It isn't even a year old yet.
Oh yeah, now this is how you do an AFK MMO, right? I know there's AFK Arena and shit, but who cares about those games? This one is where it's at. A gacha mechanic that doesn't feel like total bullshit. A combat style that you can brute force your way through with enough grinding and levels if you don't feel like mastering every mechanic. And so many awesome hero designs. Not to mention a story that absolutely slaps and a pretty banger soundtrack too. The haters can keep their AFK arenas and bullshit. This is the game I want on my phone for those long car rides.
Spit those facts, my guy. This game has been nothing short of epic since it launched. And I think it stands to reason why it's compared to AFK Arena and other mobile MMOs so often. It's a blast to play even if it is a little grind heavy.
The optimization on PC could be a little better to reduce the lag, but thankfully it runs silky smooth on mobile, which is likely where you'll be playing it anyway. I think this little masterpiece deserves an S tier.
Oh fuck yeah, you S tier this game right now. Also, we gotta put it there or we'll probably get shot or something.
Fair enough. S tier for AFK Journey. Here's to hoping its future is as bright as its beginning. Anyway, next up on the list. Oh god, Ava Bell Online.
I don't know what the hell kind of pronunciation that is. But screw it, that's as good as this game gets. Asobimo absolutely burned down the house with this once glorious game. The difficulty scaling just feels off compared to their later titles. The market is gone for some fucking dumb shit reason, and the game itself just feels like Toram Online Lite Edition, minus the customization.
That was a very odd decision getting rid of the market. And they tried to remake and re-release this game, like half a dozen times. Nobody asked for a new version of this game, you brain-dead morons. We wanted you to fix this version. God, I'm glad I skipped out on this one back in its heyday.
The game does have some bangers in its soundtrack, I cannot lie. And it can still be okay if you get good at it, but after playing Toram Online, you'll definitely feel how stiff and underwhelming this game is by comparison.
Shame on you, Asobimo. This game used to be great, but then you went and fucked it all up. D tier for this game.
Jesus, are you alright? It sounded like you had a stroke there for a moment.
Sorry, I'm just allergic to bullshit, like this game.
If you say so. D tier for this one it is. Next on the list is Final Fantasy XI. I'm honestly mixed about this one.
It's absolutely crazy that this game still gets updates to this day. That said, this game has a lot of flaws with it that hold it back compared to its more popular sequel. The difficulty with party mechanics due to its demanding group play, long travel times between zones, issues with aggro management, potential for significant item loss and challenging content, outdated graphics with occasional glitches, occasional login and connection problems, and the need for a consistent online subscription to play. This game has definitely not aged well.
Facts, facts, and more facts. The game still has its positive points for sure though, like the soundtrack and the sheer size and scale of its boss fights. There's a damn reason Final Fantasy XIV reused those aspects years later. It worked once, and they knew it'd work again.
True. And while it is true that 14 has a couple of the same problems, mostly the paid subscription being needed to play, I think there's a good reason why more people play that game over this one. And not just because this game has aged like sour milk. I don't see any reason to go back to Final Fantasy XI, aside from morbid curiosity.
That's true. With all that said, I'm down for putting 11 in C tier, but no lower for not being completely broken, terrible, or unfun to play.
Should be going into D tier, but I won't be upset with a C.
Yeah, you better not be upset with a C tier, you nerd.
No fucking way, the Minecraft Finkrat is calling me a nerd right now.
Did you just unironically pull a Fawful reference out of left field?
Yes, I have referenced Fawful, greatest of all Furies. He is there in screen, cackling at you, banana breadstick.
Jesus, Dusty, you're an absolute menace sometimes. You two are going to give me a migraine if this is how the rest of this video is going to go. Anyway, before we go starting any fights among the ranks, next on the list is the one, the only Final Fantasy XIV.
God, this game is so goated. Where do I even start with praising this beautiful masterpiece of a game?
Actually, I'll be praising this game today. Yes, everybody, it's me, the one and only Mia, here to tell you why Final Fantasy XIV is the pinnacle of the MMORPG genre. The beautiful graphics, engaging story, awesome music, larger-than-life bosses and raid bosses, the tight-as-hell gameplay that keeps you on your toes from beginning to end? And do I even need to mention all the side extras that pay reference to the rest of the franchise? This game is near flawless and deserves to be crowned an S tier, no cap. Fucking finally! I was on time to be in a video! That's a huge dub for me!
Holy shit, it's Mia. Isn't that the girl from all that suggestive art and videos we saw a while back? Where the hell have you been all this time? Cancel culture rolls up in here and starts throwing fingers and you disappear off the face of the planet.
Okay, first of all, I was in a dead broke state when I signed on to pose for all that NSFW material. I really needed the money. Number 2, Bulldozerman already dealt with the creator of that content with a few well-placed copyright strikes. Number 3, well, I'm sexy as fuck. Of course I was going to partake in a little fan service. And number 4, I've been busy waiting for Square Enix to do another free subscription event so I can do something with my life again.
My god, you sound absolutely nothing like how I pictured you. You're so bubbly and ditzy. It's shocking.
What? You think I was gonna be a blank wooden slate like that one time they gave Samus Aran voice acting? To hell with that shit.
Holy fuckballs, never reference that disaster area of a game again. And I won't lie, you did list some pretty valid points in favor of Final Fantasy XIV being the best MMORPG ever made.
The game still has the paid subscription problem from 11, and not all of the classes are fun to play, and a lot of players can be pretty brutal and unforgiving to newbies who are learning the game. But overall, this game is still the pinnacle of the genre. Square Enix should be proud of this game.
I believe we are all in agreement that this game deserves to be crowned S tier then?
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. S tier for FF14. Also, if we put this game any lower, we'll probably get absolutely demolished in the comments. Also, I hope you boys don't mind me sticking around a while. I really want to be in a video for once that doesn't involve me breathing water on the ocean floor. My original owner was so cringe sometimes, I swear to God.
Don't fucking remind me. I was this close to getting out a crossbow rocket launcher and blowing that Celibeth bitch to Kingdom Come.
Rockets are for weaklings. I could have muscled that loser out.
Muscled?
At least I have pride in my arms, unlike most of the rest of Toontown who cling onto their helicopter bags and go-karts.
Well, thank you both for sticking up for me. I didn't mind showing some skin for the people who thought I was pretty. It's very rare that a hero in Final Fantasy XIV gets recognized as cute, but it was pretty painful on a lot of days. I'm glad that bitch is gone now, and I'm in the hands of someone who won't kill me 50 times a day just to prove that heroes can be as cute as all those damn Nico girls.
Hey, what are friends for?
All jabs at Rule 34 and Mia's shitty former owner aside, let's get on with the list. Next up is, oh motherfucking goddamn it, it's Age of Conan.
Oh god, the horror, the PTSD, the war flashbacks. Make it stop.
Every time I see that fucking logo, it makes me want to throw up. It's horrible.
The brutal difficulty that puts the Dark Souls games to shame? The janky controls? The constantly chugging Framerate? The shit-tastic story that feels like someone's botched attempt at a Conan the Barbarian fanfic? The fact the open-world PvP servers are pretty much dead because nobody wants to play that shit? The forgettable soundtrack that doesn't hold a candle to literally any other game released during this era? Everything about this game, besides maybe the graphical quality, has some kind of flaw. As an MMO, it fails to deliver a satisfying experience, not only because of how bland and mediocre it feels, but also because of how fucking hard it is. F-tier this abomination, right now.
Yeah, I don't need everyone tweaking out on PTSD during the wreck. So, F tier for Age of Conan, get that trash out of here.
Conan the Barbarian deserved much better than that dumpster fire of an MMO.
Well, with that mistake out of the way, let's move on. Next game on the list is Free Realms. Even though it's dead and gone, and that quote-unquote remake called Sunrise has been laid to rest for good, I still think this game was one of the best MMOs ever made.
I'd argue this game wasn't so much of an MMO as it was a giant sandbox game with a lot of toys in it to play with. There wasn't much of a story and no real end goal. You just ran around and did whatever you felt like doing, and it was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, this game is awesome. It's a shame it died so young, and that fan-made revival fell apart at the seams. It looked like it would have been even better than the original. At least we still have our memories with this amazing game. Mining, racing, cooking, battling monsters. It was all so much fun.
This game was such a great time. I just wish Sunrise hadn't fallen through so we could still play it today. But, oh well. Sometimes that's how it goes. I'd say B tier for this game. It was amazing, but you can't play it anymore, and that's a huge bummer.
Yeah, that was tragic, not going to lie. Anyway, B tier for Free Realms. Might have gotten an A if there was still some way to play it today.
Rest in peace, sweet Free Realms. You'll always be missed.
Okay, let's not get all emotional here. Next on the list is... Oh boy. It's Genshin Impact.
Oh, son of a bitch, talk about a game falling down harder than an anvil in a Looney Tunes cartoon. This game started out so strong, so high, so mighty, so proud. What the hell happened to it?
From multiple bugs and glitches, to PR nightmares, to disasters with their English voice actors, and even some international political bungling in regards to AI and SAG-AFTRA, this game's gone through a roller coaster of crazy and stupid shenanigans over the last few years. The game is still a blast to play, though. The huge world is fun to explore, the puzzles are very satisfying to solve, the story is fun to experience, and all of the characters are amazing to play as. And it's so much fun to try and form a playstyle with the abilities of the characters you have.
Don't forget the soundtrack. My god, this game's music slaps. It's not all A+ stuff, but it definitely comes close. And the Serenity Teapot allowing you to build your own home was an awesome addition too.
Paimon didn't take long to start getting on my nerves in the later game, though. And oh my god, I'd genuinely rather get AIDS than listen to another word of hate against Amber. She's literally a hot-as-fuck bunny girl, not to mention being crucial for the first few areas. And people continue to act like she doesn't deserve to be in this game. What the shitballs?
Super facts about the Amber hate. I think those scrubs just need to get good.
The gacha mechanics can be pretty unforgiving too. Like, I think Bulldozerman made 130 pulls on the standard banner and still didn't get the promised 5-star character from Pity. I've half a mind to sue Hoyoverse for false advertising, but I think instead I'll drop Genshin Impact into B tier. The game has some faults it needs to fix up before we can give it anything higher.
We'll probably get some angry fanboys in the comments, but fuck it. B tier it is. They can be angry all they want. Maybe they should direct that anger at Hoyoverse so they get off their ass and fix this game. Then we wouldn't have any need to dunk on it like this.
Yeah, I think the writing is on the wall with how much YouTubers have trashed on Genshin over the course of this past year, us included. Anyway, with that out of the way, next on the list is Hoyoverse's other MMO, Honkai Star Rail. This one is the vastly superior of the two games, I'm not gonna lie.
Random ass speech fail from Chris aside, this game is so much better than Genshin Impact in so many ways. The characters are just as fire as Genshin. The music is equally on par with the other game. The story is once again phenomenal, and the gacha doesn't feel quite as bullshit as Genshin was. Not to mention the fact this game is turn-based, instead of being an action MMO, and it has an auto-battle function. It's perfect for those who want a more laid-back game.
Oh, hell yes. This game is an absolute gem, and a welcome breath of fresh air after Genshin Impact flopped harder than Cyberpunk. Also, one thing we didn't mention with Genshin was that its file size can get pretty absurd, no matter what device you play it on. It could get close to, or even over 100 gigabytes of data. Honkai Star Rail, however, manages to cut this number down due to not having the giant, expansive world of Genshin. So right away, this game is much easier on those who don't have high-end devices.
Not to mention the performance. Jesus Christ, even on a solid gaming phone or tablet, the frame rate can absolutely tank when a big battle comes up in Genshin. If you didn't have a high-end device, the game had no problem letting you know just how much you screwed up. Thank God Honkai Star Rail managed to get away from all that.
Yeah, major W for Honkai Star Rail for not trying to cram Breath of the Wild onto a tiny device that can't handle a game of that scope. There's no way this game is getting anything lower than an S tier.
No objections here. What's next?
Next on the list, Iruna Online. It's the prequel to Torum Online. I gotta admit, even I forgot this game existed.
I only like this game because it gave birth to Toram. Otherwise, well, who gives a shit? It's old and outdated, yet still gets updates for some baffling reason.
Kinda like Minecraft? That describes that game pretty well. Haha.
Oh, shut the hell up, Red Boy. You know what I mean. Why is this game still getting updated after its sequel came out? It literally doesn't make sense.
You're literally asking for sense and logic out of a game developed in a country where the age of consent is 16 years old. You're fighting a losing battle there, buddy.
Oh shit, you're right. Well, this game isn't bad. It can still be a lot of fun to play, it's just outdated as hell, especially almost 10 years after the sequel came out.
Well, with all that said, just throw it into C tier. I never played it anyway.
All right, C tier it goes. Next on the list is Lord of the Rings Online. Insert text about how this was Bulldozerman's first serious MMO outside of Toontown and Wizard 101 blah blah blah.
This game is awesome. Take World of Warcraft and throw it into the setting of Middle-earth with tons of classes to choose, hundreds of things to craft, full character customization, and some of the tightest combat seen in an MMO of this era. There's a reason people still go back to this game, whether they're fans of the series or not. This is to Lord of the Rings what Age of Conan should have been to Conan the Barbarian.
You got that right, buddy. This game seriously kicks ass. It literally feels like you're playing a Lord of the Rings movie, and the sheer amount of content you have available to do when you're not smashing your way through dwarven strongholds and goblin camps is phenomenal, and it all feels like it's helping you with the main quest in some way.
The only downsides I'd have to gripe about is the size of the game world. This game puts Genshin Impact, Torim Online, and Wizard 101 put together to shame, so backtracking can be a huge problem at times. On top of that, the player versus monster player content can get pretty ruthless and chaotic, and not all of the raid battles stuck the landing quite right. But aside from that, it's still an amazing game that promises to entertain both genre newbies and hardcore players alike. Plus, anyone can agree that it's better than the shit show Lord of the Rings games we got prior to this one, especially that trash Super Nintendo game.
You, don't mention that game. All right, I think this game's done enough to earn an A tier. It's a phenomenal title, but some other games do a few of the elements better. Still gotta give this one props for being a decent movie tie-in game in a sea of bland and generic shovelware.
Especially the shit seen on mobile. God, I'm glad we're not including those games on this list. There's enough of them for it to be an entirely separate list in of itself.
Anyway, moving right along, next on the list, one that barely managed to meet the requirements for this list, mostly thanks to community-developed mods. It's motherfucking Minecraft, baby.
I think we all know where this game is going.
Yeah,
Yep,
solid
S
B
tier,
tier
no
right
cap.
here.
Wait, what the actual fuck? The hell did you just say?
There is no way in the actual 7 layers of the Nether that you just said this game goes in B tier.
Yeah, that's kind of an L take from you, Dusty. Seriously.
Look, the game is amazing, and it's definitely one of the best games ever made. But the only reason it's on the list is because fan-made mods allow you to turn this into an MMO of some degree, otherwise it wouldn't have even made the list. It's nothing spectacular in this particular genre. It belongs on a sandbox games tier list where it belongs.
Oh, fuck this bullshit. I know Alex has had some
All
shitty
I'm
takes
saying
on
is
this
that this
channel,
game
but
isn't
you've
the
gone too
greatest
far
thing
by
on the planet
insulting
anymore.
Minecraft
It's
and
old
calling
and
it
dated.
mid. I
And
ought
that
to beat
movie
the
can't
actual
salvage
shit
it
out of
after
you
all
like
the
a
crap
whack-a-mole.
Mojang and
At
Microsoft
least this
have
game
pulled.
is still relevant and
Toontown is a
mainstream
timeless
media.
classic that gave
Are you
birth
just
to the
angry and
child-friendly
salty
MMORPG.
that Disney doesn't give a shit about
We wouldn't have
Toontown anymore?
motherfucking Wizard
And the only
101
reason you're
and
alive
free
now is
realms
because
if
a
it
bunch
weren't
of
for
college
Toontown.
students set their time aside to
I'm not
revive
gonna
your
sit
game's
here and
corpse
listen to
from
you
death.
insult.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking cock bitch!
Sorry.
It's cool. Just let's all try not to act like spoiled children here, okay? Good God.
Jeez, Chris, did you hurt your voice box when you yelled there? Your voice cracked like a goddamn opera singer.
I'm good. I'm used to having to raise my voice at Alex when he's acting like a buffoon. Anyway, since the two of you can't make up your minds, I'll compromise with A tier for Minecraft.
I guess that works.
Too damn low, but whatever. I just hope we don't catch too much hate from the Minecraft community for this. If we do, I blame you, Red Boy.
All right, I get it already. Can we please move on?
Let's just move on already.
Anyway, next on the list, it's Neverwinter. I gotta be honest, I didn't think Dungeons & Dragons would transition well to an MMO, but here we are. And this one was pretty goated back in the day, if memory serves.
Oh, fuck yes. This game was so friggin' sick back then. The music slapped way harder than it had any right to. The sense of community was amazing, and the combat was tight as hell. This game was seen as the more mature, edgy version of World of Warcraft by many back then, and it's not hard to see why. Plus, the non-main story content was plenty enough to keep you occupied for a while when you wanted something else to do.
This game is seriously fire. Although I will admit, it could be a little difficult at times, especially near the end, or if you rushed ahead without grinding levels and getting better equipment. But besides that, this game is still awesome. And plus, I'd wager pretty heavily that if we don't rank this game at least an A tier, we'll catch hell from the D&D community.
That is extreme cap, but fair enough.
It ain't no cap that those little turd blossoms aren't going to do shit. I'd smack them with my police baton so hard, they go crashing back into their mama's basements where they came from.
Hey, mind if we throw Bulldozerman's mother and her husband in there too while we're at it? I know he's told everyone to lay off those two, but I'm sick and tired of everybody thinking they can just lord over Bulldozer and make him do whatever they want, because they're older than him. Age doesn't make you better, you basic bitches. It just means you've been exposed to more brain rot than he has. You guys better quit acting like you're king and queen of the world soon, or I'm literally going to throw you into the nether lava ocean and watch you cook with a side of bacon and eggs. And that goes for the rest of you too.
Okay, where the fuck did that come from?
Bro, I've had to watch Bulldozer get slapped around by his so-called superiors ever since Season 1 of Minecraft Survival. I'm sick and tired of it. Either these crusty, dusty, musty, crunchy on a busty basic bitch with no riz and no pizzazz having platypus asses for heads shit stains knock it off on their own, or I'll grab my pickaxe and do it for them. Nuff said.
Jesus, someone called the fire department. That was a bad burn right there.
I'm not even going to comment on how pointless that little rant was. Y'all know Bulldozer can fend for himself, right?
I felt like taking a big steaming dump on the haters. And his parents felt like a good scapegoat.
Well, whatever the fuck that was aside, next on the list is Pirate 101. Easily the superior of the two games by King's Isle.
There you go, saying that all weird again. But anyway, yeah, this game is still pretty good after all this time. It hasn't had half of the crap done to it that's happened to Wizard 101. And the chessboard-styled combat that's ripped straight out of Final Fantasy Tactics is so much more enjoyable.
I concur. While a lot of the side content from Wizard isn't here in Pirate 101, I don't really mind, seeing as how a lot of people don't care about that crap to begin with. Like, when was the last time you saw someone say they cared about crafting and gardening unironically, LMAO?
Definitely not me, that's for sure. With a shorter storyline, a much more forgiving EXP curve, and a combat loop that doesn't put you to sleep after just a couple of hours, Pirate 101 is definitely the superior of the two games.
Some of the battles were pretty bullshit, not going to lie. Those Bumballoons in Cool Ranch were just dog water. And those Obsidian key bosses were just trash to fight. I honestly wish Team Up was available for those fights. God, what was King's Isle thinking with those fights? Oh, and it was way too easy to get dogpiled and raw-dogged in broadside combat.
Yeah, and on top of that, you still have to pay crowns to stitch your gear, even as a subscriber. In an era where half the other MMOs on the market make that a free feature everybody has access to, that still feels like straight baloney.
I can understand making that feature cost crowns to non-subscribers, but those with an active membership should be able to pay gold for stitches. But then again, this is King's Isle. We broke the entire game with the free Wizard City and Crocotopia promotional event that we're talking about here. They'll continue to make stupid, boneheaded decisions like this until the sun becomes coal.
I won't lie, the two recent expansions that Pirate 101 got were pretty crap. Tartarus was a buggy, barely functional mess on launch, and Crocotopia is being called the worst pirate update ever. I definitely can't see this game going any higher than B tier at the moment. The game is still enjoyable, but it does have a lot of faults that hold it back from being the best.
Damn you, mobile gaming, for ruining this game's entire future. Damn you, I say!
Times like this make me glad that Toontown got shut down when it did. I'll take a fan-made revival of an old MMO than a buggy game that barely fucking works.
Agreed. Anyway, what's next on the agenda?
Next on the list is Rift. Good God, this game is older than dirt. I can't believe it's 13 years old and still going. Then again, this game was pretty awesome when it came out, so that's to be expected. Seriously, you guys haven't played Rift?
No, I've played it. It's just, well, the game is 13 years old. Who gives a shit about it anymore? Everyone's moved on to other things by now.
Not me, that's for sure. I played it a lot back in its day, but compared to other MMOs on the market today, there's just nothing that makes it stand out.
Yeah, I'd honestly just put this game in C tier. I could honestly give a shit less. It was good way back when, but it's a minor distraction in today's market, especially with Steam around.
All right, C tier it is. Next on the list is The Elder Scrolls Online. Point taken. B tier for this game. It's good, but we don't talk about the publisher behind this one.
I fucking hate Bethesda. Game's pretty solid though. Definitely go check it out.
Next on the list, how the hell did Roblox get on the list? I know it has a lot of MMOs on it, but the platform itself isn't based on the genre.
Editor, why the hell are you making us talk about this game? You know where we stand as far as Roblox goes. Don't think we don't know about this platform's numerous issues just because we developed XC Woods on here.
It has a few nice MMOs on it, but there's so frigging many of them, each with their own strong and weak points. Honestly, we're better off just ranking the platform as a whole and moving on. None of these are above a B tier anyway.
Thank God. I am really not in the mood to deal with any of that Roblox bullshit.
Yeah, I gotta agree. B tier for Roblox just to get it out of the way. Next on the list is Star Wars The Old Republic.
Oh, hell yeah. This game is tight as hell. Who hasn't wanted to be a ninja-flipping space samurai wizard? Thing? After watching those goated-ass movies, this game was the best thing in the universe.
My favorite class in this game was the smuggler, mostly because of how much I loved Han Solo in the movies. It was a lot of fun to be a bad guy and play as a Sith too. That was so sick.
The roleplay scene in this game was pretty tight too. It was so awesome to see them playing out lore-accurate scenes while doing quests. It helped to make the game feel truly alive.
Yeah, but on the flip side, the raid bosses kind of blow in this game. It's nearly impossible to beat any of them without half of your squad getting knocked the fuck out and taking heavy damage to their gear. Those repair bills can be pretty high in this game too. So much for having a good and balanced economy.
Yeah, buying stuff from other players can be pretty pricey in this game, and those repair bills are definitely not helping, to say the least. That can make the game pretty intimidating for newbies to approach.
Well, all that said, I'm fine with chucking The Old Republic into A tier. It's an amazing game, but it's not the best one out there.
Go right ahead. I'm not arguing. I really wish we could see some more of this game on the channel. Like a lot of other MMOs, it got dumped after Bulldozerman initially checked it out and his paid subscription expired. If you guys want him to play any of these games on the channel, consider sending him a gifted sub. And it just might happen.
Yeah, as loath as I am to admit it, Bulldozerman is no longer in a position where he can pay for these games. Not when he has to cling on to every dollar he can so he can get the hell out of Dodge. So if you want any of these games to show up on the channel, you know the drill.
Well, with the shameless plug aside, next on the list is the one and only Disney's Toontown Online, the pioneer of the kid-friendly MMO.
All right, hold on. Even though this is going to shock everybody here, I'm just going to say it. This version of Toontown was definitely inferior to the fan-made revivals that came out later. I get that it was an experimental phase for online games as a whole, but come the hell on. Using the arrow keys to move? Really? God, I'm glad all the other games let you alter the controls to better fit modern gaming standards.
Damn, Dusty, I'm shocked you're the one to say it considering it's the game you came from, but you're right. Toontown Online was goated back in its day, but nowadays it's pretty mid. Not going to lie. The music slaps like always, and the cogs were all interesting to fight. But near the end of its life, when they stopped adding new content to it and rolling out bug fixes, the game just withered and died. And it almost feels like Disney doesn't give two shits.
Disney only cared about profits, and when they saw Club Penguin bringing in bigger numbers, that was enough to convince them to let Toontown rot away and die. I bet they're kicking themselves now seeing Toontown continuing to grow and thrive, especially after Club Penguin bit the big one. Ha 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 ha!
I think before we go trashing this game too much, we need to give it major respect. Like Dusty said earlier, were it not for this game, other games like Wizard 101 and Free Realms probably wouldn't have existed. Hell, a lot of online games probably wouldn't have existed, or at least been child-friendly. That alone gives this game major points. Damn, this is a tough one to rank.
Well, we can't even play this game anymore, and it's mid compared to both revivals anyway, so I say B tier.
Yeah, same honestly. B tier.
Screw it, B tier. It's still a timeless masterpiece. It probably would have gotten an A if Disney hadn't thrown it under the bus the way they did.
All right, B tier for Toontown Online. Thankfully, things only get better for these games going forward. Up next, it's none other than Toontown Rewritten. God, I love this game.
Getting rid of the subscription model, updating the gameplay, graphics, parts of the soundtrack, and even the COG facility bosses and adding in new mini-bosses, not to mention the addition of the boiler boss. This game took what didn't work with Disney's game and fixed it. God, how could you not love this game?
The only thing I'd have to gripe about is the Cellbot Task Force expansion. They added a lot of cool ideas and concepts to the game with that expansion, but threw that all out the window by failing to put a skip button on the trolley. There's a reason Corporate Clash had that from day one. Get it right, Rewritten. It says a lot that Bulldozerman dumped that game when they made that little blunder and hasn't gone back since.
And let's not forget the backtracking. Some of the longer streets still don't have shortcuts, and it makes running around to get tasks done really frigging annoying. This game is over 20 years old. Is it too much to ask to put in a couple more shortcuts? Minnie's Melody Land, I'm looking right at you.
That's a fair point. It seems like the dev team isn't taking the time to fine-tune the game to appease modern gaming audiences, at least from a gameplay standpoint, and is instead rushing ahead with new content. You can only cover the game up with fancy new graphics for so long, It doesn't hide the fact the game is still, for the most part, the same brand of mid that online was.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I know they're going to fix the game eventually, but Rewritten is getting close to 10 years old. How much longer are we willing to wait on eventually before we all just give up and leave?
This game is still miles ahead of Toontown Online, for sure. But all said and done, I think this game gets an A tier. It's sort of the middle child of the Toontown games. Better than Online, but not quite up there with Corporate Clash.
All right, A tier for Toontown Rewritten. It's much better than Online, but it still has a few flaws that need to be ironed out before it'll get an S tier. And speaking of Corporate Clash, that's the next game on the list. Damn, this game is absolutely goated. They took Toontown and turned it into a modern MMORPG. Cool beans. Disney could never pull this off even if they tried.
Oh yeah, this game is so damn awesome. Take Toontown and make it into a modern MMO. What an amazing idea. And this game took everything that didn't work in the other two games, ironed it all out, and made this game awesome. This game is so tight.
I agree. The introduction of the new cogs and bosses, not to mention all the executive cogs and manager boss cogs around the game world, makes this version vastly superior to Rewritten. And that's not even counting the dozens of other things this game fixed. Easy S tier.
Not to mention, if we put this game any lower, we'll probably get absolutely destroyed by Bulldozermen.
All right, easy S tier for Corporate Clash. You earned it.
Damn right it did.
Spitting facts. Anyway, what's next?
Next on the list, oh boy, Torum Online. I was waiting for this one. If this game doesn't get S tier, I'm offing myself. Literally.
Jesus, calm down, Chris. Anyway, out of all of Asobumo's games, this
The
one
fourth wall
definitely
has been
stands head and
shattered.
shoulders above all the rest. Is it any wonder why this game was the first of their lineup to get ported to Steam?
Yeah, the sheer customization you have in this game. From avatar sets to armor and weapons to the stats and skills you can use. You could be one thing, multiple things, or everything in this game. You had that freedom. No other MMO I've played has this level of freedom to build your ideal character.
The event highlights for me would be the Christmas event, the Hatsune Miku crossover, and the summer diving event.
You would pick that last one, you pervert.
Alright, stop fighting, guys. The bottom line is, this game is frigging awesome and offers up plenty to do to keep you playing. Although I won't lie, the grind in this game can be pretty intense to get fully geared up at the level cap, even more so than the other games on this list. The pet system is pretty clumsy too. I'm not sure if this game is truly S-tier material.
You know what, guys? You somehow managed to convince me. As much as I love this game for giving life to me, Alex, and Melody, I don't think it's quite S tier. I'll settle for an A tier, though.
No objections here. It's good, but A tier is as high as it goes. Anyway, what's next on the list?
Next on the list is... oh, god damn it.
Nope, I'm not doing this today. F-tier this piece of shit right the fuck now.
This game could have been good if the developers actually still cared about it, and it can still be fun in the first 60 levels or so, but the game is riddled with bugs, glitches, and things that just don't work. The story is just cringe later in the game, and the community is likewise cringe as hell. On top of that, the game takes forever to complete, especially if you want an optimal build.
Not to mention that the developers keep screwing everything up every update and making all MMORPG developers look like total dumbasses. Our genre's IQ is 100, not 10. Get it right and stop making us all look bad, King's Isle, you fucking jerks!
Holy 7 power medals, Mia. Your voice cracked like a goddamn opera singer. Are you okay? Do you need a mint or something?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Chris. This game is straight donkey turds. ASDF,
Please,
Shut the fuck up or I'm going to get a patch of quicksand out. I
Stop
swear to
tweaking in
God.
Whew. Sorry. I'm good now. Anyway, I'd say D tier for this game at most.
Whatever the actual monkey whore that was. Yeah, I'll just throw Wizard 101 in D tier. It has its perks, but its flaws are just way too numerous to count or ignore. This game needs a redo, seriously.
I fucking hate King's Isle.
Well, all brain farts aside, next on the list is World of Warcraft. Point taken. There's nothing to be said about this game that hasn't already been said. It went from awesome to mid to total fucking dog shit due to Blizzard and their constant stupid mistakes. F tier for this game, get that garbage out of here.
Get dunked on, Activision Blizzard. You all suck and your games are all mid and shitty.
Anyway, with that mediocrity out of the way, next on the list is... oh god damn it, no, we are not having a repeat of this bullshit. This series is in F tier and that's final.
Agreed. The first game is unfair as fuck. The second game is just a ripoff of another game, and nobody even remembers the third game. They're all mid-ass trash.
If you aren't a whale, it's impossible to enjoy these games. And even if you are a whale, they all suck to play. So yeah, fuck these games.
Shame on you, Z-Girls. To the fiery depths of the nether with you. Even F tier is too good for it.
Well, with that horrible mistake out of the way, next on the list is the Ragnarok Online games. We'll only be looking at Ragnarok Online 2 as a separate entry, and all the other games will be bundled together, since there's like 20 of them out there, and all of them aside. From 2 play pretty much the same.
Random pause out of nowhere aside, I really adored these games back in the day, especially Online 2. That game was so cute with its 3D graphics. To my knowledge, it was the only PC exclusive game in the series, but I haven't played all of these games, so my memory could be failing me here. But Online 2 was definitely my favorite. Everything else was okay, I guess.
Online 2 played out more like World of Warcraft and other PC MMOs of the era, and it was pretty enjoyable to play. The story was interesting to watch, the combat was pretty tight and responsive, and the class upgrades were pretty tight. The soundtrack was decent too, although a lot of it was nothing memorable.
I hear ya, but Online 2's pretty much in a vegetative state at this point. Hardly anyone plays it anymore. And all the other games on mobile range from acceptable and harmless to pretty awful.
I understand that a good series dies hard, and the developers firmly believe that Ragnarok still has some life left in it, but do they really have to release a new game in the series almost every other year? Why not just focus on improving 1 or 2 games so that they turn out fantastic, rather than having a dozen or so mediocre releases? What were they thinking?
I get the impression that they weren't thinking. And that's why this entire series is surrounded by mid overall. I'll just dump Ragnarok Online 2 in C tier, and the rest of the games into B tier. There are some gems in the pile somewhere, but you will have to do some digging through the trash to find them.
Quantity over quality is not the way to run a successful MMO company, people. Just pointing that out now.
Facts. Anyway, just 3 more games to go for today. Next on the list is Reverse 1999. God, this game is just remarkable. I honestly don't know how they could improve on such a beautiful title.
The true answer is they can't. The music is beautiful, the art style and graphics are awe-inspiring. The story is absolutely stunning, and the turn-based combat means you can comfortably relax with this one and go at your own pace. There's never any pressure to do this or get that, so it's very easy to just comfortably breeze through this game without dumping tons of money into it.
If you want a textbook example of how to make a mobile turn-based MMO gacha game where it doesn't feel like it's extorting you, this is how you do it right. And keep the player coming back time and time again. This game is damn near flawless, with the only minor knock against it that I can think of is the fact its main story isn't anywhere near done yet. So you might be waiting a while to continue the journey after you do all the story quests.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else that needs to be said. This game goes straight into S tier, no cap.
True mobile MMO gacha gaming peak right here, ladies and gentlemen. Reverse 1999 is just outstanding. It doesn't get much better than this.
Also, Sonetto is just a cutie, no cap. Ha 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 ha.
Ignoring that awful sentence that just came out of your mouth. Let's move right along. Our second to last entry is Cartoon Network Fusion Fall. God, this game was something else, I swear, and thanks to the community-made revivals, it still slaps today.
Damn, I honestly forgot this game existed. I missed it back in its heyday, and the community revivals available for play today don't exactly have a thriving player base, to say the least. They're slowly getting better, though, and the game itself is still pretty interesting to play, despite falling into the Toontown trap of being very simplistic and not very mechanically depth-filled.
You're sounding like a hater right now, Blockboy. But yeah, I guess you're right. This game's exploration, story, combat, and even its soundtrack are all passable, but nothing spectacular. But I get the impression that was done on purpose, so the player wouldn't get overwhelmed by 300 different mechanics. This game was specifically aimed at children after all.
It's still a blast to play, though. Getting to see all our favorite Cartoon Network characters banding together to fight off the fuse? It was awesome! My personal favorites were Blossom, Dexter, Number 5, and motherfucking Eduardo! Never in my life did I think we'd get a game that has all these characters interacting together in a 3D space. This game seriously kicks ass for that!
This game is still so much fun to play, even in spite of its simplicity. With that in mind, it should go in B tier.
All right, B tier it goes. I honestly wish Cartoon Network would leave the fan-made revivals of this game alone. We've already lost several of them to their DMCA bullshit.
Yeah, that's really confusing. You don't see Disney going after fan-made revivals, if you catch my meaning.
Well, hopefully that problem will sort itself out in due time. Anyway, we're almost done here. Just one more game to go, and that last game is... And with that, this tier list is all wrapped up. Holy shit, this one was long. I didn't think this list would be this long, even with all these games up for debate.
Yeah, man, this took a while to get through, but this was insanely fun. I'm glad we got to do this together today. Thanks for inviting us to do a tier list with you, Chris.
Agreed. It was nice to take a break from the Minecraft madness and get to chill with the crew for a while and just talk about the games that helped give birth to us so we could all be here today. And even though the quality of these games tends to fluctuate wildly, there's still no denying that they're some of the best games on the market out there. I honestly think anybody could leap into a quality MMORPG and enjoy themselves, if they're willing to put in the effort to overcome the massive grind.
Some games are definitely still easier to overcome that grind in, not going to lie, and some others, they don't deserve the time of day. But these games are still enjoyable, and I'd highly recommend everyone to check out the games that made it into B tier or higher. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's always awesome to look back at how we got to where we are in this industry, and remember the games that helped us create the ones we have now. Myself and Toontown may have been rivals with some of these games when Bulldozerman was growing up, especially Wizard 101, and maybe a bit of that tainted blood hasn't washed off yet, but at the end of the day, we're still just a handful of the billions of beloved characters created in these games to entertain the players and provide that much needed distraction we all need in these days of uncertainty.
True, we're all just digital characters in the games that inspired billions of fans all across the world. And at the end of the day, as long as they're enjoying the game, that's what matters.
Mom, I'm not gonna cry from this random wholesome moment, I swear.
Haha, hold it in there, Mia. We don't allow crybabies on this channel. Minecraft is still mid, by the way, little boy block.
Oh, that's it, you club-holding son of a Siberian salamander? You're done for.
What the actual fuck even was this damn video?